this computer. Okay, so again, as usually, we're gonna need a strap or a shawl or yeah, like a fitness band, blocks or books, and I think that's all. Yeah. Okay, and then we are going to start on our back. So lie down, and we can start in a corpse pose, Shavasana. So you just make yourself comfortable first. With your arms, you can have the arms on your belly, chest, or beside you. If you have a lot of space, spread out like a starfish. And then legs extending to the back of the mat, feet nice wide. Let the feet relax out. So set it up, make it really comfortable. And sometimes it's nice to have something underneath the head as well for support. But the main thing is that you can relax. So really relaxing the shoulders and the arms, trunk, hips, legs and feet, the neck, back of the neck, head, and then the face as well. And maybe a couple of things that we don't really pay attention to, that might be, for example, your throat. So notice if you're holding like an apple in the throat. If you're not sure, then just do it anyways. Just swallow a couple of times to release that tension in the throat. Then just check your jaw, check your lips. Because sometimes we squeeze the lips together. So just relax the lips, maybe even create a little space between the upper and lower lip. The teeth, upper and lower teeth, but again, you're squeezing them. Can you just let go of the grip? And then your tongue as well. Let it release down instead of pushing it up against the palate. And then start to become aware of your breath. Now it's quite easy to connect to the breath if you have your belly or the hands on the belly or the chest, because then you can connect to that movement that the breath creates triggers in the body. So when you're inhaling, you can feel the belly and the chest rise and expand. And then exhale, let the belly and the chest sink. Noticing how the body expands on the inhale and then contracts on the exhale. You might want to breathe through the mouth a couple of times to let go of any stuck energy. But then ideally, we would like to seal the lips and breathe through the nose. And I'm not sure whether you're aware, but yesterday was International Yoga Day. It was also the summer solstice. So we could just start the practice today by setting an intention, which is, with the summer solstice, we could just look at it as a new beginning. You could set an intention, maybe not for the summer or for a longer period of time, but maybe for today or for just this practice. I mean, I always struggle setting very deep, spiritual intentions, so I just like to stick with something very simple, like making sure that I'm going to have fun in my practice, or that I'm not going to get angry of myself because I don't succeed, or I don't succeed the way I expect myself to succeed on my mat. Something very simple, or maybe just making sure that we pay attention to the breath. So take a moment and have a think. What is that resolution? What is that intention you would like to set? And then you can use this intention to gather, energy, to look at it, that when you're lacking commitment or motivation to do the practice, then you can just use it to inspire yourself. And then take another breath here. And now place the right foot, the sole of the right foot onto the ground. And then bring the knee towards the chest and place the hands onto the shin bone just underneath your knee. And then start to very gently pull the knee towards the chest. And instead of pulling it towards the center of the chest, just gently pull it towards the side, maybe pointing towards the armpit. So with the hands, cupping that shin bone and then gently driving the knee towards the armpit. And now activate the left foot on the ground and the left leg as well. And then start to extend the sole of the left foot away from you. So these opposing directions, with the right knee moving towards the head, towards the armpit. And with the left leg, you're reaching down towards the back of the mat. Now you can release that left leg, but keep your right hand on the right knee. Place your left hand onto the left thigh or the front of the hip. And you push down. This is to keep the hips level with the floor. And then the right hand on the right knee gently starts to move the right knee towards the ground. Now you might be very, very bendy around the inner thigh area. And you might find that your knee very easily comes down to the floor. As you can see, mine just stops midway. And that's absolutely fine, but that's why I'm using my left hand on the left hip to make sure that I don't tip over too much onto my right side. And just hold it here. Make sure that your shoulders relax onto the floor, the back of the neck is relaxed. Again, if you feel that you have this tendency to lift the head, maybe it's uncomfortable, just the head on the floor, you can place a pillow underneath for your block. And slowly bring the knee back to center. We're just going to swap hands. So left hand comes onto the right knee. The right arm goes beside you. You can bring the arm into a T shape. So the hand is in line with your shoulder. Take an inhale. And then on the exhale, start to move that knee across the chest towards the floor. So we are coming into a twist now. And you might find that your the right shoulder starts to lift away from the floor as you come closer and closer to the floor with your knee. We don't really want to lift that shoulder away from the ground. So don't worry if you don't come into a too deep of a twist. Just make sure that there is a balance between the shoulder and the knee. So the knee comes as close to the floor as it can get with your right shoulder still on the ground. And then the head, so eyes can stay focused on skywards, or you can also look towards the right fingers, just depending on how you're feeling in your neck. And then you breathe. And while you're breathing, notice if you went back into your head, thinking, analyzing, or you can bring your attention back to the breath, back into how you're feeling in the pose. Where can you feel a little stretch? Where do you feel, discomfort? Where do you feel lightness? And then slowly bring the knee back to center. And then place the foot onto the ground now. Bend the left knee as well. And now place the right ankle over the left thigh. Flex that right foot and just gently guide the knee away from you. We're going to do an active stretch first. You're going to keep your arms beside you. You take an inhale and then on the exhale, start to lift the left foot away from the floor. So you're driving with your left knee, that right ankle towards the body. You're really using the thigh muscles and the lower abdominal muscles. So try to relax the shoulders and the jaw if you started to switch them off. Hold it here. Just gently hugging that left knee closer to you. The right foot stays active. And then from here, you can interlace your fingers behind the left thigh. And now more passive stretch, where you're going to use the strength of the arms to pull that left knee closer to you. And at the same time, guide the right knee away from you. I'm not sure whether you noticed, but today actually we're going to be focusing a lot on the hips, stretching and strengthening it. If you feel you want to, you can also extend that left leg to the sky. But keep driving that left leg close to you while you're moving the right knee away from you. Make use of the arms to pull the left leg closer to you to get more into the right hip. And then we're going to slowly place the left foot back onto the ground. So keep the same leg variation, right ankle over the left thigh, and we're going to slowly drop both knees to the right side into another twist. So when you arrive, you have the ankle over the left thigh, but if this is not comfortable for some reason, maybe the knee or the ankles don't like it, then you can just untangle the legs and have both knees pointing towards the right. Otherwise, holding it here, hands can rest on your ribs, or cactus arms, T-shape, doesn't really matter as long as they are comfortable. And then breathing. Notice if there is any unnecessary tension accumulating in other areas of the body, your shoulders, or the back of your head, back of the neck. And slowly bring the legs back to center, unravel the legs. Feet flat on the ground, nice wide, and then start to windscreen wide from side to side. And we're just going to do the same on the other side as well. But first, just extend the legs along the floor. Take a moment to see how you're feeling now in the two sides. Maybe you feel a little bit more warmth, heat around the right thigh, right hip. And then hug the left knee into the chest. Hands just underneath your calf, underneath your knee, on the shin bone. If this is not comfortable, you can also place the hand underneath the knee, behind the knee, onto the thigh. Take a moment, and then on the exhalation, start to pull the knee towards the armpit. So not pointing towards the center of the chest, but point the knee towards your armpit, and then start to very gently pull it. Then activate the right foot, so flex it. The ball of the foot and the heel pushing away from you. The thigh is active. Again, opposing forces. Through the right leg, you're reaching to the back of the mat. And with your left knee, you're reaching towards the top of the mat. And release the right leg again. Bring the left hand onto the left knee. Place the right hand onto the right hip, front of the hip or the front of the thigh. And then slowly start to move the knee out towards the left side. Making sure that the hips stay level. So imagine that you have a beam light on each hip, on the sticky out bone on the hip, iliac crest. And then they are beaming up towards the ceiling, both of them. And you can have your hand, that left hand at the inside of the knee, gently guiding the knee closer to the floor. Or if you feel that your knee is dropping too low and you need to stop, you can place the hand to the outside of the knee to just hold it there and support. So it doesn't go lower than necessary.
Yes.
So don't forget to mute yourself, guys, because otherwise everyone can hear you and the conversations behind you. Please make sure you're muted. And bring the knee back to center.
What can I do?
And then, sorry, I was quickly going to check because I think someone's not muted. Okay, here we go. So just stay as you are on your back. Bring the left knee back to center, and then we're going to come into the spinal twist. Right hand onto the left knee, left arm to the floor. And then slowly moving the knee across the body. Again, pay attention to that left shoulder. We don't want to lift that. So if you go too close to the floor, then your shoulder will compensate and lift away from the ground. So think about it again like opposing forces. The knee points to one side and the shoulder points to the other side. And as we are pulling them apart from one another, that's how you get the stretch on the side of the body. And then bring the knee back to center. Bend the right knee as well, place the foot flat onto the ground, and then place the left ankle over the right thigh. Flex the left foot, gently guide the knee away from you, hands onto the floor, active stretch, and then on the next inhale, lift your right foot away from the floor, and now you're driving that left leg closer to you. So what you're going to feel is, you're going to feel the stretch on the left hip, but you can also feel your your muscles in your thighs and your lower belly activating. Because it's an active stretch, it's natural that you're not going to come as deep into the pose as you would if you would pull with your arms. So don't worry if you find that your shin bone is actually further away from you than usually. Now you can use the arms behind the right thigh and then pull the leg a little bit closer to you. You will feel that actually you can go a couple of inches deeper now. So hugging the right knee closer to you while you're guiding the left leg away from you. Keep the feet flexed. This is to protect the knee. And if you like to, you can extend the right leg to the sky. And then from here, slowly place the right foot to the floor. Keep that left ankle as it is on the thigh, and then drop both knees towards the left side. Okay, I have to move away from the floor. You remember, if this is not comfortable, maybe for some reason, knees, ankles don't like it, or just the hips, then you can untangle and place that left foot onto the ground. So finding a variation, but staying in this twist for a couple of breaths. Excuse me. And then bring the knees back to center. And slowly windscreen wide from side to side. Extend the legs to the back of the mat. Hold it here. And then we're going to turn around onto our belly. I'm going to start with a Sphinx pose. So for this posture or any, well, it can be Sphinx, Cobra, or upward facing dog. You can have the feet together or a little bit wider from one another. If you have tweaky lower back or not so much flexible, then probably it's better to have the feet a little bit wider. You're going to access a little bit more mobility in the lower back. For your Sphinx pose, place your forearms onto the ground. The elbows are ideally under the shoulders, spread through the fingers, and then start to activate the legs. So start to squeeze the thighs, the glutes. Your knees naturally lift away from the floor. Press the pubic bone into the ground, roll the shoulders down, and then very gently start to pull the elbows and the edges of the palms towards you. So they don't really move. It's an energetic movement rather. And then your chest moves between the arms towards the top of the mat. Hold it here for 5, keep squeezing, lengthening to the crown of the head. Another 3, pubic bone rooting down. 1 more. And then release. Hands underneath the forehead, hold it there. Maybe just sway the hips from side to side. And then a seal pose or another Sphinx pose. So for seal, you're gonna come onto the hands, bring them a bit further away from you, but see how you feel in your lower back. Separate the fingers again, shoulders down. The same way, activating the legs, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes, push down through the pubic bone, and with the edges of the palms, gently pull towards you while you're guiding the chest to the front. Crown of the head reaches skywards, shoulders down, gently pull the shoulder blades towards one another for 5, 4, 3, keep activating, keep switching off the muscles. Another 2, 1, and release. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders and push back into your child's pose. Relax the forehead to the ground, walk the fingers further forward, push the bum towards the heels. From here, tabletop position. Keep your fingers pressing down, knuckles as well, curl the toes under, and make your way into downward facing dog. And in your down dog, start to move. Remember, your down dog is a V shape upside down. You want to have the bum really high. You want to press down through the heels towards the floor. They don't need to touch the floor. And if you find there is a lot of tightness in the back of the body, just soften the knees and push your chest towards the thighs. We take here another breath. And then look to the front and walk your feet between the hands. Shake out the head, wiggle the shoulders. And very slowly roll yourself up. Excellent. We will be doing a couple of sun salutations, just to warm up a little bit. Then we're going to do a couple of standing poses, again focusing mostly the thighs and the hips. And then we're going to come back onto the floor. But first, sun salutations, hatha style, so with lunges. Stand at the top of the mat. Start to switch on the thighs. Switching on the thighs, especially around the knees. So we are not locking, overlocking. It's somewhere in between. But you're stacking. Gently tug the tailbone under. Squeeze the lower belly in. Lengthening. Shoulders down and back. Then on the next inhale, raise the arms. Look up. Fingertips to the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward, soften the knees, bow down. Hands against the legs. Inhale for your halfway lift. And then step the right foot back into a low lunge. And reach the arms to the sky. Take a big breath in. Hands to the floor. Step into tabletop. And move into your downward facing dog. Remember, you can always switch to tabletop instead of downward facing dog. Press down through the heels, through the hands, lift the tailbone, and push your chest and your armpits towards the knees. Then inhale, come into a high plank pose, shoulders over the wrist, walk the feet back. You can straight away place the knees to the ground. Instead of collapsing into the floor with your chest, lift away from the ground. Then place the knees to the floor and slowly lower down. Keep the hands underneath the shoulders. Activate the legs. Inhale for your cobra pose. And then we move into downward facing dog. You can rest in child's pose for a breath. Bring the feet together in the back of the mat. Reach your right leg to the sky. And then step the foot between the hands. Drop the back knee down. Sometimes the foot gets stuck midway. You take hold of the heel and pull it forward. Raise the arms on the inhale, look up. Hands to the floor. Step forward, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Let it go. Inhale and rise, look up, hands into prayer. We go again on the left side. Inhale, arms up, look up, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Step your left knee back into low lunge. Raise the arms, look up. Hands to the floor, down dog or tabletop if you're taking it easy today. Inhale, high plank pose. Remember to lift through the shoulder blades. Press the heels away from you. Drop the knees, lower down to the ground. Activate your legs. Inhale for cobra. Downward facing dog. Maybe passing through child's pose. Raise the left leg high, breath in. Step it to the front, breath out. Back knee down, arms to the sky, inhale. Hands to the floor, step forward, exhale. Inhale, flat back. Let it go. Inhale and rise, look up. Hands into prayer. One more on both sides. Inhale, arms to the sky, maybe arch back, pull the arms in line with your ears, and then lift the chest one high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Step the right knee back, low lunge. Lift the arms, maybe a mini back bend again. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Slowly lower down. You can go for chaturanga and upward facing dog if you like. Inhale, cobra. Downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky, breath in. Step it to the front, breath out. Back knee down. Raise the arms, look up, little arch. Hands to the floor, step forward. Inhale, flat back. Fall down. Inhale and rise. Hands into namaste. And now the left side, inhale, arms up, look up, arch. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step the left knee back into low lunge. Raise the arms. And then down dog on the exhalation. Inhale, high plank. You can drop the knees, slowly lower down. Inhale, cobra pose. Downward facing dog. Reach the left leg back. And then step it to the front. Bring the arms to the sky. Maybe a micro back bend. Hands to the floor, step forward, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Fall down. Inhale and rise, look up, arch. Hands into prayer. And then the standing poses. Well, with lying down poses as well. On the next inhale, raise the arms, look up, arch. And then exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then step the feet back into a high plank pose. Take a breath in. Knees to the floor. Very slowly lower down. Chest, hips arrive at the same time. Inhale, cobra. Downward facing dog. Bring the feet together in the back of the mat. And raise the right leg to the sky. Bend the knee. And open up the hips. So you're stacking the right hip over the left. Your hips and chest are facing to the right side. And most of your weight is in the left hand. Take another inhale. And then on the exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Press down through the feet, bend the front knee, and slowly rise into your crescent lunge. We're going to do a couple of poses here. And you can always drop the back knee to the floor, but make sure that the back knee is comfortable on the floor. Just fold up the mat for some padding. I'm going to do it with the knee away from the ground. Take a big breath in, reach the arms to the sky. And then on the exhale, twist towards the right. Reach the right arm back, the left forward. So nice wide arms, fingers are wide as well, chest pointing to the right side. If you're very wobbly, either placing the back knee to the ground or softening the back knee for some buoyancy. Take a breath in and then slowly lean back. Right hand comes onto the left side and the left arm reaches back. One more breath. And then leaning forward, place your left elbow to the outside of the right knee, hands into prayer, and then start to twist towards your right. The shoulders nice wide open, you're squeezing the shoulder blades together, press the palms together. If your back knee is away from the floor, then straighten it and push the heel away from you. I'm just going to use the ball now to balance. One more breath, and then slowly come back to center. Lift the arms to the sky. You can now lift the back knee away from the floor if you had the lean on the ground. And then slowly straighten both knees and turn the toes to the left side of the mat. So you will be standing in a nice, what is it called, straddle. We're going to bring the feet a little bit closer to each other and we're going to make our way into goddess pose. Turn the toes out and bend the knees. Oh, God, I can feel my hips straight away. So your knees want to open out and you want to press down to the outer edge of the feet. You might find it very much easier to just roll forward with the shoulders, but you really want to sit back and instead of sticking the bum out, again, you want to tuck under. So sinking down like you would be sitting on a nice cozy armchair, leaning back instead of leaning forward. You're going to feel straight away this on the thighs. So place your hands onto the thighs and just lean from one foot into the other. And then whenever you're rocking from side to side, you're going to slowly release the bum a little bit lower and lower. And breathe a lot here. Maybe opening the mouth. Ooh. Okay, then you're going to come into a stationary variation. Hands onto the thighs, not on the knees, on the belly of the muscles. And we're going to straighten the right elbow, bend the left elbow, and you're going to turn your right shoulder to the center and then twist towards the left. With your hands, you can also force the knees a little bit wider. Then back to center, and then other side. So left elbow stays straight, right elbow bends. You're hugging the elbow towards the center line, and you're twisting the chest towards the right knee. Keep the bum low, back to center, one more to both. So right elbow straight, force the thigh bone out, and twist to the left. Back to center, left elbow stays straight, and then you're twisting to the right. Back to center, and then slowly coming up. Whew. Okay, we're going to turn the toes back to face the front. So your right foot is to the front, and bend the front knee. Place the hands on either side of the front foot, and step back with the left foot. Drop the left knee down to the ground. Lizard pose. So now you have the right foot in the center of the mat. You want to walk it out until you have space for both hands at the inside of the foot. You might feel this very comfortable, but you might need a little bit more elevation. Then you can use your blocks or books underneath the hands. Notice what I'm doing with my hips. Instead of pushing back like in a normal low lunge, I'm allowing the hips to melt forward. This is the whole point of this posture because you want to come into the hip flexors, which is now on the left side, the front of the hips. And this is what we're going to just do here. Just a couple of breaths, staying here, nice, upright and tall. Maybe you're using the blocks, books underneath your hands, doesn't matter. Now you can ask what happens with the front knee. For me, it's quite easy to just have the sole of the foot on the floor with the knee pointing forward. But after a while, you might feel that it's easier if you allow the knee to just drop out a little bit to the side. That's fine as well, it doesn't really matter. Few more breaths. You might find that after a while you're able to place one forearm, maybe the other forearm onto the ground. And just breathe. If you can, let go of the head, maybe letting go of the shoulders. And start to use the breath to let go of the discomfort. So maybe you could also use these words as mantra on the inhale and exhale. So on the inhale, you can say, I'm inhaling relaxation. And on the exhale, you can say, I'm exhaling tension. And then visualize yourself, visualize your hips, your hip flexors. On the exhale, releasing a little bit more. Slowly coming back onto the hands. And then we are going to move the foot back to the center. Half straight, straightening the front knee, pushing the hips back until they are in line with the back knee. You can bring the blocks with you, flex the front foot. Now your knee doesn't need to be straight, you can keep it soft if you like. And you might find that it's actually easier to keep it soft because of the tight hamstrings. Take an inhale, try to lengthen through the spine. And then on the exhale, bring the chest close to the thigh, bowing down, releasing the head as well. Couple of options here. You can hold it here like this. Or you can also walk the hands forward. So you're walking the hands forward and really offering your heart to the top of the mat towards your feet or foot. This is another variation. The other variation is to walk the hands actually back, fingertips on the floor, the ball of the foot reaching forward, and at the same time you're reaching the chest forward as well. Maybe try out all three and let's see what works for you. One more breath here. And then bend the front knee once more. We make our way into half pigeon. Get that right shin across the mat. With your right knee pointing out. I'm just going to turn around so you can see me from the front. So like this. So the knee points out. If someone is standing behind me, they can see this knee flaring out. Again, think of the beam lights on the sides of the hips. They are pointing forward. So you're not really releasing into one side or the other. Try to stay level with the floor with the hips. The back leg is in line with the center of the body. And if you find that there is a lot of space between you and the floor at the right hip, you can use your block underneath the thigh and the hip. So you're comfortable. What you're going to feel is a stretch around the right hip, right bottom. If you can't help it, but lean into your right side, that's absolutely fine. But make sure that you feel that stretch on the right side. And then you can hold it here with your hands on the floor, or you can also release onto the ground. We're going to hold it here for about a minute. So try to relax into the floor. Try to just soften into the posture. Again, if you like to use the breath to bring some comfort, it can be quite overwhelming, this pose. Remember, I'm inhaling relaxation, and then I'm exhaling tension. Notice if there is an urge to fidget or jump out of the pose, and maybe with the breath, try to calm yourself. I mean, if there is pain around the knee, or knees even, then you do want to come out of the pose. But if you feel this dull, achy pain in the muscles, then there's the stretch that we are aiming for. If it's too much, back off. come a little bit up onto your fingers. Maybe elevate the hips a little bit more. But that is actually what we are looking for, the dull, achy pain. Then slowly lift yourself up. Sit on your right buttock and bring the left leg forward. You're going to arrive in Shavasana, seated forward bend, with your right knee bent and the left leg extending to the front. You might want to use your strap here. We're going to come into a forward bend. So if you're working with a strap, you place it around the sole of the foot, hands on either side of the strap. We take an inhale, lengthening through the spine, push the foot into the strap, and then on the exhale, pull on the strap and start to guide the chest towards the knee. You can do it also with your back rounded. Absolutely fine. You can do this also with your knee bent. But what you don't want to do is bring the shoulders forward. Wherever you are, draw the shoulders down, tuck the chin to the chest, and with the crown of the head, aim towards the front. And slowly sit yourself up, a back bend. So keeping the right knee bent, straighten the left knee and really squeeze the thigh up towards the hip bone. Flex the left foot, right hand beside you. You're going to lift up onto the knee and the heel of the back foot. And then lift the chest, lift the hips, squeeze the glutes together, arch the spine, and reach your left arm behind you. Really squeeze the thigh up towards the hip bone. Squeeze the glutes, lift the chest, lift the belly. And then slowly release. Bring the right knee to center. Keep the foot about a fist away from the thigh, the other side. Bring your left hand onto the outside of the knee and the right hand behind you. Take a big breath in, lengthen, and then on the exhale start to twist. Looking behind you, you can walk that right hand in the center line or in line with your spine. That right knee, you're hugging that towards the body, and with the chest, you're moving away from that knee. Look back if it's all right for your neck. And then come back to center. Place the feet flat onto the ground, nice wide. And then we bring screen wide from side to side. So try to bring that lower knee or the middle knee or the knee that is in the center towards the floor. Sit up, cross the ankles, and then make your way into a downward facing dog. Just move it out in your down dog. Move the hips, shake the head, move the shoulders. And walk the feet to the top of the mat. Keep the head, arms relaxed. Very slowly roll yourself up. And then we take it to the left side. So exactly the same, well, nearly the same sequence. Standing at the top of the mat, squeeze the thighs up towards the hips, tuck the tailbone, lower belly in, nice open chest. On the next inhale, raise the arms, look up, maybe a little arch. And then exhale, soften knees, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the floor, walk yourself into a high plank pose. Take a breath in, then slowly lower down to the ground. Inhale for cobra pose. Downward facing dog. Bring the feet together in the back of the mat and then lift your left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, your heel comes close to the buttocks, the knee points high. And then open up the hips to the side. So you're stepping the left hip over the right, your hips and chest are opening to the left. A lot of weight in your arm, right foot. And then you're going to step the foot between the hands. Press down and slowly rise into your crescent lunge. You can place the back knee to the floor. Make sure that you're stable. Stability can come through movement as well, but it's a very focused, mindful movement. Or stability comes from a stationary pose, but then you're really squeezing up. Remember, you can do the whole flow on this side with the knee on the ground. Raise the arms up. Try to bring the arms in line with your ears. Take an inhale, left hand, and then on the exhale, twist to the left, right arm forward, left behind you. Spread through the palms, through the fingers. And then lean back, left hand onto the right thigh. Right arm reaches back, just for a breath. And then leaning forward, crescent lunge twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee, hands together in prayer. Roll the shoulders down and towards one another while you're twisting the chest to the left. Really focus into the feet, firmly grounding through them. And then twist a little bit more. Press your elbow into the knee, with the knee press back. And then force yourself more open to the left. And come back to center. Reach the arms up, straighten the left knee. And then turn the toes again towards the right side, arriving in your straddle once more. Walk the feet a little bit closer, toes out. Taking another goddess pose. This time I'm going to do a little bit of a chest opener, nothing heavy. Well, goddess pose this time, I think. Bend the knee and then start to lower down. Your knees want to go out. So it's nice and open around the inner thighs. Press down through the outer edges of the feet and then start to rock from side to side. Just to make it a little bit easier. Take your mind off the fact that you have to stay here for a while. I like to lift my 10 toes away from the ground. It helps me to just stay more grounded for some reason. Okay, so we're going to bring the fingertips behind the head and then we come into a stationary posture. Elbows nice wide, just the knees. Take an inhale. Then on the exhale, leaning into the left knee. Try to press the elbow to the knee. Keep the chest open, shoulders stacking, and then back to center. Inhale, and then exhale to the right. Keep the knees wide open, elbows wide open. Elbow kisses the knee, and then back to center. Once more, both. Slowly to the left, and then back to center. Slowly to the right, and then back to center. Place the left forearm onto the side, keep the knees wide, take the right arm to the sky, and then pull the arm behind you, opening the right side of the chest. Back to center, other side. Right forearm onto the right thigh. Left arm reaches back, open heart. Back to center. Rise. Whoo. And I'm going to turn the toes towards your left. So the left foot stays on the front. Bend the front knee. Lunge pose. Walk the foot back and drop the knee to the ground. So for lizard, again, walk the left foot out. Maybe using the blocks at the inside of the foot for your hands and for support. Always make sure that the knee on the ground is comfortable and then release the hips forward. But while you're setting that up, I need to tie up my hair. I really need a hairdresser. So I'm hoping next week I'm going to get a cut and some highlights. So releasing the hips forward. And just getting used to the discomfort, leaning into the discomfort even. And sometimes it's quite nice to just circle with the hips or rock back and forth, very gently, just to ease yourself into the pose. And then of course there is the breath. Especially the exhale in this kind of poses, just to help us let go. Ooh. You want to slow down that out breath. So maybe make a little circle with the lips. And then on the exhale, just breathe through the lips. Again, if you feel, you can come onto your forearms, on the bricks or on the floor. Now the left knee can just drop towards the floor. You can be on the outer edge of that left foot as well. It doesn't really matter. Again, just stay aware, stay alert to any unnecessary tension in the body. It's the fear of the pain, the fear of the discomfort. So you start to tense up, fight or flight mode, but try to relax. So it's funny because obviously because of the discomfort, you're triggering the flight or fight mode to come in. But on the other side, you want to use the breath, nice long inhales and even longer exhales to slow it down, to comfort yourself and soothe yourself. So on the other side, with the breathing and the focus on the breath, you're going to trigger the parasympathetic nervous system. Rest, relax, digest. Okay, and then the half splits. Come up, walk the foot, left foot to center, flex the foot, straighten the knee as it's comfortable, as much as it's comfortable. You can use the blocks underneath the hands. I'm not going to do that now. And then you can have the hands underneath the shoulders, nice long spine, and then start to reach the chest bone to the front and towards the side, or walking the hands forward, reaching forward, or walking the hands back. Tailbone reaches back, foot reaches forward, and you're offering your heart to the front as well. Few breaths. Tuck the chin slightly to the chest. And bring the hands back underneath you. Bend the front knee. And we are going to come into half pigeon. So bring the shin across the mat, walking the right leg back now. The left knee will point out. Again, if someone's right behind you, they can see that knee clearly. Notice if there is a lot of space between your hip and the floor, maybe a block will help you to relax. Remember the beam lines pointing forward, and then either staying upright and tall, or you can come onto your forearms. If there is any discomfort in the knees, front knee especially, you can just lie on your right hip and then bring the left shin parallel to the floor, the front. That way you're going to release any tension from the knee. You can take hold of the foot or just guide the chest towards the foot. Our aim is always to make sure that what we feel is in the belly of the muscles, not around the joints. No sharp, sudden pain, dull, achy pain in the belly of the muscle means you're stretching, you're working on the right area. And then a few more breaths. Scanning the body and scanning the breath. Take another 2 breaths. And then slowly lift yourself up. And then swing the right leg forward into your Shavasana. I'm just going to do it in front of you now. So left knee bends, and it's nicely relaxing towards the floor. The book or block can help for the leg to relax comfortably. Then you can use your strap around the right foot. Otherwise, you can take hold of your calf muscle, ankle, doesn't really matter, or you can place the hands on either side of the leg. Starting by lifting to the crown of the head, and then on the exhale, start to walk forward. Relax the head wherever you are. You can keep the back rounded, you can keep the knee soft as well. Or you can bring straightness into the leg, into the spine, and then really pull. There are a lot of variations here, but just take it easy. Or don't challenge yourself if that was your intention. Lift up. If you have the block underneath the knee, remove it. We come into the back bend. So zipping up to the right leg, really active, flex the foot. The left knee should be on the mat, just for comfort. And then we're gonna press down to the left hand, lift onto the knee and the heel, lift the bum, squeeze the bum cheeks, and then reach your right arm behind you. The chest, hips facing upwards, right arm reaches back, squeeze the legs, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes, lift, arch, and slowly sit down. Bring the left knee in, foot stays about a fist away from the side, from the knee. We twist towards the left arm behind you in line with your spine, right hand, right elbow around the knee. You hug the knee towards the center line of the body, and at the same time, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, start to drive the chest away from that front knee. Shoulders down, crown of the head to the ceiling. Release, come back to center. And then place the feet flat on the ground. And we can vibe again from side to side. Come back to center. Bring the feet to the floor. And then take your block. Fish pose to finish off. Before fish pose, you are going to use your block or your book underneath the shoulder blades, across the shoulder blades. So somewhere here where you can see my touches. It's not under the neck, not under the lower back. It's your choice how high you want to have it. You might want, if you have a block, you might have it on a taller side or the flatter. If you have books, I would say flat. And then if you want some more height, then just 2 books on top of one another. And then maybe cover it with a blanket so the edges don't hurt your spine. They can be quite sharp. I'm going to actually go for 2. So not under the lower back, not under the neck. It's somewhere in between. You want to feel the chest opening up. Release the head back. The head should be supported by the floor or by another block or maybe a pillow. Arms beside you. But for the arms, you can also bring the arms behind you. It's quite nice for the side of the body and the legs. If you're working with some tightness, tension there. And then it will also allow you to, maybe for Wheeler's Ruth, might be helpful. And then we just wind it here. Really soften into the block, soften into the floor. We haven't done many back bends today, so we haven't really opened the chest, but we did a lot of forward bends, which are more about releasing, letting go, and the out breath. So notice how it feels to be breathing in right now. With your chest wide open. And bring the arms beside you. Press down through the elbows. You can also take hold of the edges of the mat and slowly rise. Remove the blocks. Make sure there is enough space around you. Lie down again. And to finish off, you can just shake it out a little bit on the floor. Maybe you want to hug the knees into the chest, roll around, any movement that, feels like, okay, it's going to complete your practice. And then when you're ready, Shavasana, legs extending to the back of the mat, hands maybe on the belly or wide on the floor. Then press the back of the head to the ground. Lift your shoulders, shoulder blades, draw them down towards the hips and lie back down. Do the same with your hips, press down through the ears, lift the bum, tuck it under, and then place the bum back to the ground. Eyes closed, lips slightly apart from one another. Let me rest here for a couple of minutes. Start to bring your attention back into the moment. Begin to wriggle the fingers and the toes. You can roll the head from side to side. Move the ankles, the wrists. And start to breathe more consciously. Reach the arms over the head, stretch out. Of the knees to the chest, maybe roll from side to side a couple of times, massaging the lower back into the floor. And then just naturally roll onto one side, the most comfortable side now. And with your eyes still closed, lift yourself up into a comfortable seated pose. Keep the eyes closed. Then bring the hands together and then start to rub the palms together to create heat. Just keep rubbing the palms until it gets really, really warm between them. And still rubbing the palms, bring them closer to the face. And slowly open the palms and bring the palms over your eyes. Just feel that warmth. Soak it up through the face. And then opening the fingers slowly, bringing the hands lower and lower, in line with your heart. Let your heart center bring the palms back together into prayer. Just remind yourself of the intention that you set at the beginning of the class. And we take one last breath together. Inhale. Open the mouth, let it go. Bring the thumb knuckles to the forehead center. And together we say Namaste. And we bow down. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm just quickly going to turn off the Okay.
Okay.